Welcome back everyone to the channel. This is Glaze Game Gestures number 5, and I'm going to discuss the PS1. I have the original console. It's not the PS1 Classic, and it's not the PS1 Mini. I have the original, and I actually got a pretty good deal on it. So here's the PlayStation 1 console. The original logo I find really fascinating, the colors and everything. And I know you see T-shirts at like what H&M and Forever 21, and I think a lot of the kids who are buying it have no idea what a PS1 is, but that's just my perspective. It's just a really cool, radical, original piece of hardware. It's just iconic. It's classic. I mean, my version is November 1997. I know that it came out in like September of 95. Give or take, around the same time that Mario 64 came out. So there was definitely some competition there. However, the first CDI kind of console, I would think, would have to be the Panasonic 3DO, which came out in 1993. But the price tag on that thing was like $599 when it came out, and this was like, I think, $200-300 if I'm not mistaken. By all means, somebody go ahead and fix it in the comments if you know the price. I don't know off the top of my head. But this thing has a huge backlog of a library, and it's just, you know, so many games ported to this, as well as third-party games that are just wonderful games to play. And let's get started. I have an original memory card here. I think I picked it up at like a thrift store for maybe like $5 or $7. Works just fine, no problem. And I like how it fits in there too, and I like how the empty spot looks where the memory card goes to. It's a little flap that opens up. It's kind of cool, you know. And then I have a third-party memory card that actually, it's a lot lighter, and it's 1 megabyte that holds, I think, 15 slots, so 15 games per memory card. I think I got this online. It's a third-party memory card for like $5 on eBay. Not bad. It's just super cool how the buttons are, how they're labeled, how they're colored. The open button, you go in there, you take a look. The laser's like bright blue, and it works just phenomenally. I'm surprised that it's in such good condition. Yeah, it was a little dirty, I think, when I got it. I mean, cosmetically, but you know, I didn't have to go in and deep clean anything. The AV multi-out is nice, and actually the power unit right here, the DC power unit, it's the same as the PS2. So by all means, if those of you who pick up a PS1 or a PS2 and vice versa have, you know, one for each, and you're like, oh, I need the other one, no, you don't. PS1 and the PS2, it's the same. It works just fine. And same thing, and they have these little bumps right here next to the open. I don't know if it's like to help you grip or what. Or then again, I don't know why they would be putting Braille on a PS1. I don't feel like it's necessary, but well, you know, it worked for Sony, and there's no problems there. The ridges on the side are kind of cool. It's lightweight. The gray color is very, very fitting for this console. I like that. And I like how on the side where the slots are, there's actually little tiny slits where I believe air can pass through. So that's a really cool way to ventilate the system, as well as the ventilation on the bottom where the aluminum is underneath the plastic console. The the rubber feet that I have that were given to me in this console that I got recently, obviously it's old, so they kind of fell off. They're a little fuzzy, and then these are just kind of hard plastic up here. But hey, I mean, it works. I'm not trying to, you know, overly work this thing and stimulate it to the fact that it's not going to work anymore anyway. It does its job. I have no qualms here. And I have the original PlayStation 1 controller too, without the analog sticks. This is what was given to me by the gentleman who I bought it from, excuse me. It was like, I think like $40. It was the PlayStation 1. He gave me Crash Bandicoot 1, Crash Bandicoot 3, Rayman, and Rascal. Rascal is a Lucasfilm game made by, well, LucasArts. It kind of reminds me of like Ape Escape looking, give or take. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But that's what I had from him, and then I went and picked up myself recently Tenchu Stealth Assassins. I have a decent size of let me show you, a decent amount of PS1 games. I definitely still need to go in there and get like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX. There's a guy on OfferUp and a couple guys on Craigslist that I talked to that have relatively decent prices. I will definitely go out of my way to get those discs. If it's disc only, I don't care. I mean, I can always just buy a replacement case online for super cheap, you know. But I picked this up at an antique store recently. They're going out of business. I didn't care that this was messed up because it doesn't affect anything, because the disc is still in there. I was able to clean the disc. I tested it on the console. It works just fine. I have no problems thus far. I haven't really gone into gameplay, but, and I know that they ported this also to the Xbox as well, the original Xbox. I believe it's either a sequel or it just happens to have the same name. I'm not sure yet. I have that game as well. I haven't started it. The original Rayman. It's super cool. The original, it kind of looks like a 16-bit or like even like a 32-bit, kind of like a Sega Saturn platformer. And I know it was ported to the Sega Saturn as well. Once again, I started this. Haven't really got too much into it. As far as Rayman's, I've been playing Rayman 2 a lot on my PS1, and I love that game. I need to continue that. I have so many different games that I play for so many different platforms. And I'm like, okay, I'm this far. All right, let me pause it, or let me save it and turn it off, and let me try something else. But I need to stick to it more. I got Scatterbrain. Rascal here. Like I said, on the back, I haven't really started it. It just reminds me of something kind of like similar to Ape Escape. You know, like I said, I haven't started it yet. And I lucked out. I was able to find Dino Crisis at that antique store that was going out of business. And this is essentially, like from what I gather, I haven't played it, but it looks like a Resident Evil, but, you know, scratch the zombies and put dinosaurs in there, and I was like, what? That sounds awesome. And same thing, just like Tenchu Stealth Assassins, I started it. It works just fine. You know, it's slightly scratched. I'm not surprised. I was able to clean it as best as I could. So we'll see what happens from there. And then I got Crash 3, Warped. I always hear that this is kind of like the one in the series where it goes kind of you know. I hear 1 and 2 are relatively the same. And I think I beat the first boss in 1. I haven't started 3 yet, and then I saved it. It's such a weird saving mechanism in Crash Bandicoot. You have to go through the bonus levels, finish the bonus level, and then you're able to save it. If you don't finish that bonus level, you can't save it. Interesting concept. I don't really like it. I'd much rather just save either after every level, kind of like how Rayman 2 works, or after every boss fight, then save, rather than having to complete a bonus level in order to save. That's kind of an odd thing from what I gather. Anyway, Naughty Dog, you know, also known for the Uncharted series, which are great games. I mean, they knew what they were doing. This is a really cool piece of history right here to have Crash Bandicoot. I don't care if it's the greatest hits or not. It's not the black label, or it's not a long box. I don't have any PS1 long boxes. I hope to get those. Those are pretty cool, I think. But, you know, the disc works just fine. I like that they're black, too. I think it's kind of cool. Like, that way you know that it's a PS1 game. Like, it's a statement, you know? But, yeah, this is a really great game. It's incredibly difficult, but it's fun. I don't think I'm very far into it. But anyway, back to the controller. The D-pad, it's a little stiff, but it's very suitable for the controller. I like how lightweight it is. It's relatively small. The legs are cool. It fits right into my palms. I like how the start and select are also different too. Like, in other words, I mean, it's the same button. It does this relatively similar functions, but I mean, they're shaped differently, the select and the start. I like that. And I like the colors along with obviously the logos. I'm sure we all know, and we've all seen these on t-shirts and stickers, and we all have PlayStations 1 through 4 or 5 or whatever the case may be. We all know these buttons, but this was the first one to do it, you know? And this is the first one to have the L and R 1 and 2. It just doesn't have the analog sticks, obviously, for L3 and R3, but it's just, it holds well, it functions well for all the games that I've been playing on it so far with just the D-pad. I have no issues here. I hope to get the other one. I would like to have 2 controllers. That way I can play 2-player games, because I think all the ones that I have in my library right now are 1-players. But, you know, I hope to get like Jet Moto and Twisted Metal, of course. So, yeah, I can have some buddies and we can play. Right? Why not? I don't think I'll ever get the PlayStation 1 Classic. And if I do, I'm definitely going to use Auto Bleem to do the best I can to hack it. Otherwise, I'm perfectly happy with my PlayStation 1. It does its job. I love this thing. It's super cool. I'm glad I was able to pick it up for super cheap. I definitely remember having the PS1 Mini as a kid, and then I remember at the bottom it used to say PS1 on here. I think it was like a Toys R Us exclusive at the time. Rest in peace, Toys R Us, when I was able to pick it up, and it was super cheap. But then again, this was also super cheap. I just cleaned it, with some Lysol wipes, and got whatever dirt and grime off in here, tested it, works just fine. There's the PlayStation 1. Thank you for your support, and have a good day.